Hey, but that backpack pocket though.
How's it going, everybody? YouTube, it's your boy kenandrewdaily, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to customize the pocket of a backpack. So here is an example of a customized pocket. I decided to throw on some Hawaiian print. As you can see, it adds so much to the backpack and it looks really dope. Before I get into the video, I just want to say that this tutorial is not for beginners. It's more for the more experienced sewers. So if you're a beginner and you want to try it out, I don't recommend it, but if you want to go ahead and try it out, be sure to kind of watch through the video a couple of times, kind of slowly go through the video. But without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial.
Starting off with the things you'll need for the tutorial, you're going to need a pair of cutting tools, a seam ripper, a pen, a bunch of pins, a half a yard of fabric, a sewing machine, and a backpack you want to customize. First thing we're going to do is remove the original pocket. Grab your seam ripper and start seam ripping around the pocket. Eventually, it will come off. Next, we're going to remove the front panel of the backpack. Turn the backpack inside out and locate the front piece of the backpack. You want to look for the seam that connects the front panel to the mid panel. Usually it's covered with a bias strip. If it is covered by a bias strip, you have to remove that first, so go grab your seam ripper and start seam ripping it. Once the bias strip is removed, you can start to seam rip the seam that connects the front panel to the mid panel. After you work your way around, it should come off no problem. Next, we're going to deconstruct the original pocket. Go and get your pocket, and with your seam ripper, you want to start to unhem all the sides and cut through all the corner stitches. This is going to take some time to do, but once you finish, it should look like this. Now we're going to separate the top and bottom part from the zipper. There should be a stitch above the zipper and one below it. Begin to seam rip those stitches. When you're done, you should end up with 3 separate pieces. Next, we're going to outline and cut out the fabric we want to use. Grab the fabric that you want to use and lay it down. Place the bottom piece over it, pin it into place, then you want to trace around it with a pen. Repeat the same process for the top piece. After tracing both pieces, you can remove them and start to cut each piece out. When you're done with all the cutting, you should end up with 2 pieces that resemble both the top and bottom piece of the pocket. Next, we're going to sew the pieces we just cut onto the pocket pieces. Starting with the top pieces, you want to lay the fabric face down so the wrong side is facing up, and you want to lay the pocket piece face down over it. Then you can proceed to pinning the 2 pieces together. Repeat the same process for the bottom piece. Make sure it looks like this before you move on. Now you want to do a straight stitch around each piece. Try to sew as close to each edge as possible. Next, we're going to hem all the raw edges. Using the previous creases as references, fold over all the sides and pin them into place. It should look like this when you're all done. Take it back to your sewing machine and do a straight stitch along each hem. Now we're going to reassemble the pocket. Grab the zipper and the bottom half of the pocket. Place the bottom part of the pocket over the bottom side of the zipper and start pinning it. Here's what it should look like. Go to your sewing machine and do a straight stitch along the pinned area. I recommend switching to a zipper foot before sewing. Next, we're going to sew on the top piece of the pocket. Turn the bottom piece onto its backside and do the same with the top piece. Now you want to line up the top part of the zipper to the top part of the fold on the top pocket. If you get confused, I recommend to watch this part over a couple of times. But once you line up both pieces, you want to proceed to pin them together. Use this diagram as a reference on where to pin. Shortly after, you want to straight stitch along the pins. Next, we're going to form the corners of the pocket. Grab the pocket and turn it onto its backside. Go to one of the L-shaped corners. You want to match up the 2 ends like this and pin it into place. Repeat this step for the other 3 corners. When you finish pinning every corner, it should look something crazy like this. Go to your sewing machine and do a straight stitch on every single corner. Use the previous sewn holes as a reference on where to sew. After you finish sewing each corner of the pocket, you can then invert the pocket by pushing it outwards. Your pocket should take a box-like form. Next, we're going to sew the pocket back onto the front panel piece. Grab the front panel piece and the pocket we just customized. Using the markings left by the original stitches, start positioning the pocket in the right place and pinning it as you go. Here's what it should look like when you're done pinning. Now you want to take it to your sewing machine and carefully straight stitch around the pocket to lock it into place. Next, we're going to reattach the front panel piece to the whole backpack. Go to the part of the backpack in which we removed the front panel piece, take the front panel piece and place it face down in that area. Now you want to center it and position it accordingly. Once it's in the right position, you can start to pin the front panel around the backpack. Here's how the pinning should look. Make sure it looks like this before moving on. Now you can take it to your sewing machine and do a straight stitch or zigzag stitch around the backpack to lock in the front panel. The last thing to do is restitch the bias strip. Take the bias strip and simply place it over the raw edges and then pin them into place. Then you can take it back to your sewing machine and do a straight stitch along the bias strip to keep it in place. After you're done with your sewing, you can turn the backpack right side up. But once you're done with all that, you can try on and show off your new customized backpack pocket. Let me know what you guys think about the backpack in the comment section below. But that's the tutorial. This is Ken and you daily, and remember to keep it daily. Peace!